Welcome to ExxonMobil Presents Festival of Manufacturing, co-powered by Ace Micromatic Group.
What you learn in this industrial setup, same thing when you work in your personal life, you apply those concepts, and that way you can manage them much better. I started my career with manufacturing sector, and I gained experience in different manufacturing processes during the last 30 years, more than 30 years. I've been working in this sector, and I've built my career around this sector by working in different functions in this sector. So, for example, I started with projects, then I worked in production, then I worked in operations management, then again operations plus project. So I worked in different areas, and that has led to a lot of cross learning. Also, I worked in started with the fertilizer industry, then I went to polymers, then I went to fine chemicals, metals, and then carbon black, then textile, and then back to chemicals. So I worked in different manufacturing sectors. Within the manufacturing industries, I have covered quite a lot, and this has given me a lot of exposures of different processes and how the synergy can be obtained, and the strengths of one process can be used in another process. So this gives you a lot of idea on what works in which sector and how this can be applied in other sectors to get the maximum out of it. So manufacturing is, as the name sounds, to make something out of something. So you start with a raw material or a material, and then you convert it into a product, and that may involve using one or multiple raw materials and then converting something which adds value to those raw materials. So that's what manufacturing is. So in chemical sector, probably what we are doing is that we start with, for example, here natural gas as a raw material, and natural gas is converted to ammonia. So there's a huge setup which is being established here to be able to do that. It passes through several reactions, several process steps before we could achieve it. So converting from form A to form B is what manufacturing is about. During my entire career, I had a 3-year stint as a chief sustainability officer in one of the Aditya Birla Group companies, Grasim Industries, and that was a strategic role. So I was head of the strategic projects and chief sustainability officer. And that time we were launching some sustainability based products, finished products, and we were seeing transition of customer choices from, let's say, in fabric, people are preferring those fabrics which are recycled, made from recycled material, or made from less water, or they don't use harmful chemicals. So those type of preferences, customer preferences were there, and people were choosing their garments looking at these aspects also. And particularly in US and Europe, we saw this trend quite a lot. So what we started to think about is that why don't we then start making more of these products and raw materials, so that once at one side it's more sustainable because it's less water consuming, less GHG emissions, low chemical use. At the same time, the preference of especially the young generation is being drawn towards more sustainable products. So that was a completely new field for me. So we launched several new products in the market, especially Europe and US. So this is the beauty of manufacturing, that you come up with an innovation, you create new products, you create new technologies, you improve your plants. Like this plant PCL, it's our newest plant, and it's designed for 1500 tons per day, but we could manage to run it at 1600 tons per day last few weeks. So now we are trying to see that how do we go beyond 1600 and reduce our energy consumption. So it is one of the lowest energy consumption plant in India, and probably within the top 5 globally also. So this is the latest technology, and we are converting this ammonia at the lowest variable cost. And we have a very young team here. This is probably the average age of our team will be less than 25 or 27, something like that, in this plant. So very talented team who's working very hard to improve the situation, get maximum out of the plant, and bring in new technologies, new thoughts. So that's what is exciting about manufacturing. So I would say manufacturing, and particularly for me, it has opened up my mind like anything. It's like I have a very broad vision now, and I'm focused on the longer term. So there's a lot of short-term temptations when you come to your life, that okay, if I do this, I will make some quick money, or if I do this, I can get some. But in manufacturing, nothing happens in a very short time. You have to invest, you have to grow, you have to maintain, you have to train people, you have to manage those aspects, and things happens in 2, 3 years, 4 years time. So that's how it gives you a stability, it gives you a longer term vision, it gives you a philosophy of life where you invest for the longer term. Manufacturing is a continuously transforming sector. So as I said before, the technologies are coming and new products are coming, modification in the products are coming. So it's a very dynamic range. Now what's happening in the industry is that we are going towards this what we call as a smart factory, as a revolution in many of the manufacturing sectors. So especially if you see in the assembly lines, now it's completely automated. So the quality of the products are much better, the productivity of the setup is much higher. Especially in our chemical sectors also, we are now applying this AI/ML technology for control of the process. So advanced process control systems we are applying in our plants here. So what happens is that the control system is fairly automated, as you can see from here. Like we are controlling the whole plant from DCS, and we have a very high level of automation in this plant. But we are going one step above, and we are looking at advanced process simulation and control. Make in India is a great program, I would say, and especially not only for India but globally also, it's something which has happened very good, because everything was being done in China. The whole manufacturing setup of the world was almost moved to China, and then after this economic, I would say, depression in China, and post-COVID, a lot of people had problem in sourcing from China. So people started to think about what could be the different base which can compete with China in terms of manufacturing, speed of manufacturing, cost of manufacturing, and the skill set that people have. So India is a great country. We have a lot of trained manpower here who are available for manufacturing type of a role. We have a huge resource, natural resources are available. We have land, and the government is also investing a lot in Make in India program. So that by removing, let's say, barriers for starting up the businesses. So ease of doing business, what we call as has improved quite a lot in the last 10 years. So this is a great enabler for manufacturing industry. So we have got demands, and earlier Indian manufacturing plants were internally focused, and now we are making and exporting to the other countries. So this has happened for the first time in the chemical sector. It was not happening before, because so the size of the market is much bigger now. So if you are manufacturing only for India, the plants were small, but now the plants are huge. This is a 1500 tons per day plant, which is a very big ammonia plant. So we are manufacturing ammonium nitrate here, and the capacities that we have is let's say 45% of the market share we have in India for this product. So we are operating at a very huge capacity. Similarly, nitric acid capacities that we have. So we are operating the plants at world scale capacities. Like we are just setting up in 2 new plants of around 900 tons per day nitric acid, whereas older plants were 200, 300 tons per day. Size of the scale of the operation has changed a lot. So I think there's a lot of opportunities in Make in India, not only for one product, for every product, chemical sector, electronics. India has become a huge exporter of mobile phones now, whereas 5 years back we were importing mobile phones. So the whole transformation is happening in the industry, and that is creating huge opportunities. Basically, it's a festival of manufacturing, I would say, which is happening right now in India, and I think next 5 years will be even bigger.
Watch his inspiring story only on festivalofmanufacturing.in, an initiative by the Times Group.